The thoughts are not real. We know at this how the chair is formed. The shape we call the shape with four legs. I use another bunch of labels, but whatever the shape, image, whatever you see to your eye, forget about the words that is used to describe it. But when you say, if you look at a chair, what do you see? Not the labels. Drop the labels. Whatever you see, we call it a chair, or putuwa in Sinhalese. Now pay attention to the word chair or putuwa. Chair, when the word is pronounced chair, is just a sound. That sound doesn't carry any chairs in it. The sound itself doesn't carry chairs in it. And when we say chair, whatever you look at, after dropping all the labels, is not a chair. Because for it to be a chair, you need to have a label to call it a chair. If there's no label, it's just something, some visual. It doesn't have a name. So if we connect that image to the sound chair, only the seemingly existing chair come into existence. If not, the image of the chair is just an image that you get to see because you have an eye, the optical eye, and then chair, the word, how chair, how it sounds to you. That is a sound that comes to you because you have an ear. If you don't have an ear, you will see the shape of the chair, but you don't have the sound. If you don't have the eye too, there's nothing to see. So if your sense bases are not working, let's say in some hypothetical situation, all five of them are not working, then there's no way for you to experience this so-called world, because this so-called world is a production of all the inputs of these sense bases. It's like, you can watch a movie, you see the whole thing, but the sound is muted. That is the same way how a deaf person would hear. Therefore, you cannot, unless you learn some sign language, you cannot attribute a meaning to whatever the movie you're watching. It's just some changes, like how would, those pandols during Vesak period, these thorangs that we look at, uh, there are different patterns of lights and all that, but we don't know what to call them, what patterns, what frequencies, or whatever the electrician use. We don't know anything about it. We just watch. We don't have any labels to it. You just, in that moment, you just have the experience only. Similarly, if you drop the label, not just artificially dropping, but if you understand the label has nothing to do with the chair. The label chair has nothing to do with the chair. When I say chair, there's no chair in the chair. When you see a chair, the experience, not the labels. When you look at a chair, there's no chair in that image. There's no, it's amazing. So this is the emptiness. This is the impermanence. There's nothing here. But mind creates this entanglement and illusion. We feel like there's an externally existing chair at a distance to me, and I look at the chair. This whole story is created in our mind. The color of the chair, how many legs it has, the color of the legs, if it is cushioned or not, the height of it, design of it, maybe when it was bought, from where, the price, maybe it's passed on to you, over a few generations. And there's so much value that you hold mentally. Whereas it's just an image. Image doesn't carry any of the labels or thoughts that you have about that chair. I mean, we have these things in our lives, like, jewelry passed on from grandmothers, grandmother's father wore it or whatever, with all these stories and prominence given to objects. But if you look at the object and if you see these, if you try to focus just on that object and try to see the truth, these insights will come to you. So this is the awareness, this is the home that we are talking about in the path, to be mindful. Let's say if you continue to be mindful, that turns into a samadhi. It's like a continued concentration. Whereas you can have just bursts of mindfulness. You have mindfulness for a bit and then you get carried on with thoughts, think about few other things. Again, it occurs to you, oh, I just got carried away with thoughts, and you revisit the home, come back to Mahagedara, and now you're here, you see the truth, and again get carried away. So this happens so many times before you realizing this is the cycle you're on. When you realize, oh, every three occurrences where you see the truth, you slip for another two thoughts or whatever. I don't know, however you see the truth. Then that pattern could be broken. So what happens is we didn't have any mindfulness before all this. Not definitely the right mindfulness. Wrong mindfulness, yes. If without the wrong mindfulness is you have mindfulness about what's going on in your life. In life, in general, all the external things have already become real to you. But in right mindfulness, Samma Satiya, they don't become real to you. If something become real to you and you got carried away with it, automatically awareness comes to you that shows the truth, that the truth appears, and it occurs to you. This is also the part of the system. It occurs to you that the chair was never a chair. It was just tangling of prominently two things, image and the sound. But beyond the image and the sound, all the other inputs from the other sense bases also get together to create this image in your mind. But in essence, you have never gone out of your mind. There has never been anything beyond the mind. You've always been in the mind only. So once you see the truth, you're back to mindfulness, back to your home. Once you see how often you slip from this mindfulness, then you're even more aware. With time, you become even more aware. Every time you slip, you realize these kind of things make me slip, get carried away. See the truth then and there. So you have a more continued awareness, continued sati or samadhi. So more continuous or more elongated your samadhi is, more truth, more slower the mind gets, more truths you can see, more insights you can get, where you can get the insight that R.N. Mahansi has been talking about. Everything comes from one vibration. The struggle is, the obstacle is that we don't have enough awareness to see that deeper truth. We get some insights. We have some insights, some wisdom, proportional to how much awareness you have. More awareness you have, more truth you see, more samadhi you have, and less defilements you have.